Hey horror fans, welcome back to Room 237, coming at you with another review for a film of Boris Karloff, from the Boris Karloff collection. Got two more movies left in this set. This one is from 1941, and it is The Devil Commands, which I like that cover. The title doesn't really make a whole lot of sense. It was originally called The Devil Said No, which I think does make a little bit more sense. It was it was adapted from the same novel. Adapted from the novel, Edge of Running Water by William Sloan. Directed by Edward Dmytryk, and stars Boris Karloff. Came out in 1941, and like much of the other films on this set, when Karloff got done, pretty much with Universal, especially the monster movies, he did a long string of low-budget horror films like the ones on here, where sort of the common theme was him playing a mad scientist, but with a good heart and good intentions. Maybe he goes kind of rogue or does something bad at the end. But this was another one of those movies. Also stars Richard Fisk, Amanda Duff, and Anne Revere. And I will say, this film, The Devil Commands, as far as the 6 movies on this set, is one of the more really depressing ones. I mean, it's kind of sad, because Karloff plays this scientist who is doing sort of an unconventional and weird science experiment. It has to do with brainwaves and like recording brainwaves on this thing that kind of looks like a what's it called? Sort of like a polygraph needle, like all those lines. Because it takes something to do with brainwaves. I saw this the other night, so it's been a few days. And then, there's this bad accident that kills his wife, and Karloff just kind of loses his mind, goes into a deep depression, and he wants to devote the remainder of his time using his research to use that machine that he's kind of inventing to contact with his wife on the other side. Because when he gets back to the lab, he sees like the lines from when his wife was the volunteer, and he thinks she's trying to communicate with him. So he tries, pretty much the rest of the film, he's trying to, even though we don't really see the experiments until the very end, he's trying to find a way to get brainwaves, electricity, and all this stuff to make it so he can project whatever that chart says. But of course, eventually people start getting killed, and he starts using them in like these weird robot suits. And it is really depressing. I mean, Karloff does a great job at showing grief. Like, there's this one really heartbreaking scene. After the funeral, he's standing up in this room, and the door opens, and a woman walks in, and he's like, his wife's name was Helen. He's just like, Helen? But then when the camera shows us who it is, it's his daughter. And he just gets this look of being crushed, and he tells her, I thought she was coming back to me. So you get some moments of really sort of sentimental and emotional acting, which I haven't seen too many of, at least from him. Or if I have, it's rather seldomly. The movie really starts to pick up after one of his colleagues, Carl, who is played by Ralph Penny. I don't know if he's a co-worker or just a colleague, but he takes him to this a medium. Say, hey, you know, I'm able to talk to my mother all the time when I go to her. Maybe she can help you talk to your wife. So he goes, they have a seance, and then after the seance, Karloff pretty much finds all her tricks throughout the house, like how she makes things happen. Ooh, that was kind of sharp. You know, like a hidden thing in the wall that a ghost on a string comes out, or speakers in the chair. But then he accuses her of rigging the seats up with electricity because he felt a jolt. She was like, I've never done that before. So we think she might be the key to his experiments. So then they sort of team up. He sends the daughter away, and they start these experiments. We jump 2 years ahead, and the sheriff comes by and you know, pretty much says, you know, people have not gone missing since you came here. Oh, because they moved. Karloff and the medium played by Anne Revere. Yeah. And also, Karloff's kind of been like the talk of the town. Like, he's a weird guy. Weird things go on at his house. And it all leads up to this climax that I actually thought was pretty good. You know, when we finally see what's going on in his laboratory, it's like these weird, almost like astronaut-looking robots all sitting at a table, and it's got dead people in them. And I think he uses their energy or whatever to get this, to use this contraption. It builds this tornado, and it's supposed to get like all these spirits' voices or something. It's kind of confusing. But then he hears her voice, but he can't like really make out what it's saying. Also, the maid goes in there to see what's going on, and when she sees the dead people, one of them killed her, I think. I could be wrong. Yeah, I was really tired when I saw this the other night. Basically, then like the maid's husband gets an angry mob. Karloff tries to finish the experiment with his daughter because he thinks his daughter's the real key. He needs her around to draw the love of her mother to come and communicate. And like the angry mob shows. And do you think, I thought it was going to be like one of those I thought it was going to be one of those really like race against the clock kind of movies, like angry mob's coming. He's doing this experiment that he shouldn't do, and people throughout the movie have been warning him not to do it. The ending was really kind of weird because again, there's the robot things, the table, the tornado. I think it's believed, we're supposed to believe that Karloff got pulled from this thing that had him strapped down because it's like wind blowing everywhere, and he got taken away. He got taken to the other side. And that's basically it. If this review hasn't been very informative, it's because the movie is kind of strange. And I did watch it super late the other night, so I may have forgotten stuff. But also, I don't really remember it being kind of vague. Like, it doesn't really explain how he's using those people in like the metal or whatever. But as always, Karloff did a great job. He always is. And you know, in the beginning, he has like his combed hair and his mustache, and then by halfway in the end of it, he's got like this messed up, unkempt look. You can tell he's super disconnected. again, it was actually really short. This one was actually, I think, one of the longer ones on this set. Well, 65 minutes, but again, it's not a bad movie. It's just, from what I remember, it didn't really explain everything fully. So, like, if it's gone a couple days like I have without seeing it, it's very easy to forget. But if you're a Karloff fan, I would definitely recommend to check it out, even just for him alone, really. But anyway, that is The Devil Commands from 1941, and thank you for watching.